Good afternoon and welcome to the virtual exploration for all North and South Carolina students, sponsored by the Carolinas Association for Registrars and Admissions Officers and StripeScan. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening right now. So be sure to check out the full list at CACRAO.org. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website, CACRAO.org. I'd now like to turn it over to our presenters.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Morgantown. My name is Madeline Ryan, and I am one of the admissions counselors from our Morgantown campus. And I am the admissions counselor for students from North and South Carolina and all of these listed states here. And today I am joined by two colleagues, Cassandra Smith and Kelly Lowry, and we work with first-time freshmen across the country. We also have 8 additional colleagues who we would be happy to connect you to if we are not your regional counselor. So the West Virginia University system does have 3 campuses across the state of West Virginia. We have our West Virginia University Institute of Technology in Beckley, West Virginia, our West Virginia University Potomac State College in Kaiser, and then West Virginia University in Morgantown. So each of these campuses have separate admissions offices, separate admissions requirements, and different campus environments. You can see some of the information listed here, and then of course we would be happy to connect you with either of the other 2 campuses, but the rest of the information that we will highlight today will be about our Morgantown campus. As you can see, we are located in the, we are surrounded by mountains and right on the river, and that offers unique programming for camping, canoeing, hiking, whitewater rafting through our Adventure West Virginia program. And where are we? Where is Morgantown? It is in northern West Virginia. We're about 6 hours from Charlotte and 8 hours from Charleston, South Carolina. We have 27,000 students representing all 50 states and 118 countries, and we are actually majority non-resident. So we understand the importance in fostering a diverse and inclusive campus community, and this list reflects some of the programming and training opportunities that we have for all students, faculty, and staff. We also recognize the value in having shared spaces and open communication with students and faculty from all backgrounds and cultures. And I'm proud to state that I am part of a committee hosted by the President's Office that holds ongoing campus climate conversations with our prospective students, our current students, and our alumni to learn about their unique experiences and to continue to focus on ways that we can be diverse and inclusive. So this list reflects the 14 schools and colleges across our Morgantown campus. So students actually have the option on their first-time freshman application to apply directly into their major of interest. We also have options for students who are maybe undecided or what we call still exploring and want to pursue the exploratory pathway, where you can list that and still work with advisors to recognize your interest, your unique skill set, and then they'll help you find a program that would be great for you. Many of our students will also double major or add on a minor. And then we have some unique majors that I like to highlight. We do have the #1 forensic science program in the country and the largest crime scene training complex, which offers some great training opportunities, internships, employment with the FBI. So now students can apply to one of the 3 forensic science tracks that are listed there. We also are one of just a few institutions with an undergraduate, graduate, and PhD program in petroleum and natural gas engineering. We have several alumni in the Houston area, which is the oil and gas hub, and they are also great for internships and employment connections. Our 3+3 law program is unique in that it is a fast track program. So students can actually work with their advisor and prepare for the LSAT their junior year at WVU. Their fourth year will be the final year of their bachelor's program, but then also they'll begin to take their year 1 law courses. So then there are only 2 additional years after they've completed their bachelor's degree before they've earned their law degree. So if you think about this, some of your peers maybe have 4 years of undergraduate study and then 3 years to earn their law degree. So you're about a year ahead. And then at the bottom, you'll see some of our sports sciences and media majors. Students will have the opportunity to connect with our Big 12 Division I student athletes. Maybe you want to be a videographer or a photographer, or even work on our student newspaper, the Daily Athenaeum, that won an Emmy a few years back. So great ways for you to get involved in both the sports and media industries as well. Study abroad is also something that we like to highlight to students. I recommend that you connect with us as your admissions counselor, connect with your advisors at New Student Orientation. Let him or her know what your interests are. Maybe you want to do research, you want to study abroad. They'll help you create that plan of study. Typically, our students will go after their sophomore year, maybe either the summer before their junior year. You could do a full academic year-long study abroad program, semester-long, or even just for a few weeks. So again, they'll help you figure out when is the best time to go and where you can go. If by chance you choose a country that we don't have an established program, we're happy to connect you with an affiliated program and make sure you have the support and resources. We also are one of 130 institutions categorized as an R1 research institution and by the Carnegie Foundation. So this involves research both in the STEM and non-STEM fields. And our next slide has a little bit more information. We encourage students to get involved as early as the summer before their freshman year in our Summer Undergraduate Research Experience program. And many students love the fact that they can earn credit for their research, they can be paid to do that research, but you're really able to connect and network with faculty and staff who are experts in the field. And our experiential learning, we have some additional ways that you can get hands-on learning. One of my favorites to talk about is our Inside Out Prison Exchange. So this is a seminar class within our College of Arts and Sciences. So students are paired with prisoners at a local prison, and your professor will assign a book series that you'll read throughout the semester. So every couple of weeks, students will go and meet with the prisoners. You'll talk about the book, but also students have shared that some of their favorite memories are being able to hear from prisoners about choices that they made that led to their incarceration. You see we have engineering co-ops, the Business Career Center, we have a business learning lab, English learning lab, our forensic science crime houses. We have 5 performance arts theaters and a technical wood shop, a planetarium and an herbarium, organic and animal science farms, both on our Morgantown campus and across the state of West Virginia. So additional ways for students to learn about the area and help the community as well. And then we have Reba Memorial Hospital. It's a level 1 trauma center. Students can earn 1,100 hours of clinicals right there on campus. And all of our health science students, so if you're interested in pharmacy, medicine, dentistry, public health, or nursing, you will all take classes together in the Health Sciences Center. You're able to network with each other. We'll bring in guests that want to host lectures and share some of their research and work that they're doing. And then you'll also have access to the labs, the simulation centers. We have a human cadaver lab. So a lot of great support right there for you, close to our hospital.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Maddie. So now that you know all the great things that our students get involved in, I'm sure you're wondering how you can become a WVU student. So we offer rolling admissions. So our application goes live in August. We will begin processing these applications in September, and then as they come in, we will review and send out decision letters. It generally takes about 4 to 6 weeks for a decision to get to the applicant after we've received everything that we need. So we do not use essays or letters of recommendation at this time. They're not required or considered. We have 2 ways which you can apply to our school. You can use the WVU application, which is right on our website, or you can use the Common App. Either one works for us. A typical application will include the online application, standardized test scores from the College Board or the ACT, and your transcripts or self-reported courses. So what's new this year for us is that we are now test optional. So we are doing test optional for the spring and the fall of 2021. Since there's a lot of things going on right now and you may not be able to test, you can select test optional on either application. Some majors will require a test score for direct admission into that program. Some of these majors include STEM, health sciences, and our nursing program. So you can send your test scores at any time during your senior year, but we definitely still want you to apply. But just keep in mind that you're gonna wanna check either with Maddie, who's your admissions counselor, or on our website to see if the major that you are interested in is going to require a test score. If it doesn't require a test score, it may require a math placement test or the TEAS test if you're going into nursing. We will review all applicants for our undecided program, which is in our Center for Learning, Advising, and Student Success, should you not be able to test. And we encourage you to submit scores throughout the year because we will use them to update your admission status if it benefits you, and we will use them for an increase in merit scholarships. So we do have a number of scholarships on our financial aid page that we encourage you to go and check out. There will be test optional scholarships for those who apply that way, department scholarships, and of course our general merit-based scholarships. So the link is below for where you can get the most up-to-date information, or you can reach out to your admissions counselor for more information as well. So we do offer an honors college at our school. Our honors college is generally merit-based as well. You will receive a letter that you have been selected, and you have to write back a statement that you are interested. We generally do this on a rolling admission, so it might not be included in your admissions package, but it would come a little bit later. So some of the benefits of our honors program include priority registration. We have honors advisors. We have honors, an honors office so that you can get some support from staff members. We have a live learning community, which we call Honors Hall. So there is an option for you to live with other honors students. Within that, there's also an early move-in option. Our honors courses are taught by our top faculty and staff, and we also have an honors-only research opportunity, internship, and study abroad options. If you're interested in the honors program, I definitely recommend checking out their website to learn more and to see what other benefits it includes. So housing, if you're a WVU student, you're admitted, you put down your deposit, you're ready to select where you're going to spend your freshman year. All of our freshmen do live on campus, and we have 12 halls and 2 apartment complexes that they can choose from. Some of the live learning communities are listed on the slide right now, such as Climb, CPAS, Create, Engineering, Forensic, Global, True Colors, Health Professionals, Honors, Seed, Substance Free, The Quad, and Wellbeing. The housing website has great information on what these communities entail and the benefits of them, so definitely look at that. The housing options are generally on our downtown campus or our Evansdale campus, so there's 6 on each one when it comes to the resident halls. These are also first come, first serve. So as you apply and you're admitted, our housing goes live on October 1, and you can log in and select exactly where you want to live, and then you can search for a roommate. So travel and safety on our campus is super important to us. We have a large campus. The outside campus, the walking radius, is about 2.5 miles. So we have a number of ways that you can get around campus. One of the ways is through the Mountain Line Transit. So this is a bus that's free for students, and it will bring you through the greater Morgantown area and throughout campus. And of course, we have our famous personal rapid transit system, which we call our PRT. This is unique to WVU, a little bit like what you see in Disney, and it has 5 stops. I'll show you a picture in a little bit. We also, when it comes to safety, have emergency response blue light poles. There's 29 locations on our campus, and they have a response time of 2 minutes. We have a text alert system to make sure all of our students, faculty, parents, and guardians know what's going on. So should there ever be something that causes you to be concerned, you will be aware of it in real time. We also have a live safe app where you can use to track your location, to share with your friends, to make sure that everyone gets home safely. We also have a website dedicated to this where you can check out all of the safety precautions that we take and how you can get involved with these text alerts and the Live Safe app. So this is our PRT. If you see it, it's bright yellow. It goes back and forth between the between the downtown, the Evansdale, and the health science area. They hold about 8 to 10 students in each one, and they travel from morning until night. So some of the campus resources that you might want to get involved in if you're a student on the campus. So we have a career center, which is there to help you with all of your mental health needs, whether it could be counseling, stress management, and things of that nature. We also have a Well WV program across campus. This includes things like eating right, staying healthy, stress management, anything that's going to help you be a well, balanced, healthy adult. We have programs for you. We also have student employment. We have a program called Handshake where students can find jobs on campus, whether it be work study related, working in the rec center, working in the res halls. It's an opportunity for you to go to a database and see what's available, what works best with your schedule, and how to get a job. We have resources for students who want to improve their writing skills or their math skills. We have tutoring within our libraries, and we of course have an Office of Accessibility and Service. So should you have an education plan in your high school that you would like to bring with you to college, we have a program where you can meet with someone, assess things, and we can see what kind of additional resources we can provide for you. Additional things that are different and kind of unique is our MindFit program, our Rise WVU. We have first generation initiatives, and we have a career center on campus to help you with internship, resume writing, or any kind of skills that you want to sharpen before you go off post-graduation and find a position. So if you're interested in getting involved, we have over 485 student organizations. You can see on the screen some of the topics. We have academic programs, faith-based, service and advocacy, professional, sports and recreation, culture and international, and then of course we have Greek life. So there's something for everyone. These organizations will range from a Quidditch club to a cheddar biscuit loving club to competitive golf, non-competitive golf, pickup soccer, dance, you name it, we have it. We have a WVU engagement website where you can just put a keyword in and it will show you all the clubs that we have that are associated with that keyword so that you can find people on campus that share similar interests and things to do. Traditions are huge at our school as well. You may know the song Country Roads. If you know anyone who's an alumni of WVU, you definitely know this song, or they at least do. It is a song that we sing at the end of every home victory, and it is something that every Mountaineer knows inside and out. The Mountaineer is our mascot. You can see the bottom 3 photos. This has been our mascot since 1934. We're really proud of this. It's a human dressed in regular clothes, no like big heads that they have to wear to games or anything like that. The students will vote as to who the mascot will be, so it's really awesome. You can also see that we have our signature snack, which would be a pepperoni roll. That is something you have to try when you come to Morgantown. And then we do something called Mountaineer Week. We celebrate West Virginia as a whole, whether it's the music, the storytelling, crafts, or just through friendly competition. One of the competitions that we do is called PRT Cram, and we see how many students we can get into that PRT each year. As you can see, one of our Mountaineers is in that PRT photo. So we try to see year to year how many students can fit, keeping in mind this thing holds about 8 to 10 students generally, so it's really impressive how many students can fit in there when it's the competition. All right, so we're really excited to continually be updating our facility. We are in the midst of building a 155-bed, 8-story facility to be our children's hospital. This is going to open doors for our medical students, and it's going to also help the children of West Virginia. We're really excited to break ground with this and have this completed hopefully by the end of this year. It's going to be such a great addition to our Trauma One Center that we have right now, and we're hoping that we'll just continue to make it an area where we can provide health and wellness services to students, to parents, and to children in the state. We are also really excited to get a brand new John Chambers Business and Economics building called Reynolds Hall. This is going to be a hub for all of our business students. So whether they're looking to get involved, get engaged, learn something, develop some skills, see a public speaker, get an internship, maybe land a job. It's going to be a beautiful facility for our students to go to, and an environment where they're just going to want to work with each other, brainstorm, and create some awesome things. So we're really excited to have this. Maddie?
So we do have some additional resources that we'll share with you, and then we will start the question and answer portion of this session. But we just wanted to highlight again, please reach out to us as your admissions counselor. We're happy to assist you if you're still just exploring. If you're ready to submit your application, we'll be that great resource. So if I'm not your admissions counselor, I did provide the list there, or you can just Google WVU admissions counselors and find the full list of our team and the ways that you can contact them.
All right, and also would recommend that maybe we go a slide back. Maddie's contact information is there. Something that I always tell my students is, get out your phone, take a quick screenshot. That way you can quickly access her contact information. Or if you're like me, and often if you take a lot of photos and you're like, where was that? One thing that you can do is you can do a quick search, WVU admissions counselor, plug in the state that you're from, and then we'll come up. So that's also just a great way, no pressure, really easy to find us. So we do have some Q&As coming in, and for those of you, we had most folks join at the beginning, but some that joined us as our presentation was starting. There is a Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen, so feel free to ask any and all questions that you might like. We talked about majors, we talked about admissions, we talked about campus life, we talked about housing. So there's a lot of different questions that you can feel free to ask, and be that about WVU or just in general about college knowledge. So our first question is, do we have business programs that have to do with entrepreneurship? And I at least can start by sharing, we do have an entrepreneurship and innovation major. So by name, we have a major in our College of Business and Economics, specifically for students that have that interest. And then we also have our launch lab. Our launch lab to me is like Shark Tank for our WVU students. So students that have any sort of product idea or business plan that they want to put into action, the launch lab has funding resources for them, patent resources, supply chain. We've had students start their own clothing line, their own what's like an attachment for a snowboard, can't remember the specific name, a beekeeping business, an urban spice business. So yeah, definitely some great entrepreneurship offerings. And I'll see if anyone else has anything to add about entrepreneurship at WVU.
I do. So our launch lab that Kelly was mentioning, the beekeeping story is my favorite to talk about. But this was a student who came to us already having this business. He worked on his family's farm, started as a beekeeper, but we were able to help him through the services at the launch lab to work on marketing, patenting, to secure additional funding and resources to expand his business and then be able to sell honey all across the country. So again, even if it's something that you've started and you're just looking to expand or wanting to learn about different directions that you can take your business, we're absolutely happy to connect you to the staff and the faculty. Sometimes you can brainstorm with other students. A lot of our engineering students will come into the launch lab. In addition to business, we might have students going to the think tank, but also there are a lot of different resources that you can find on campus to help you with those ideas from the initial thought to all the way to completion.
Okay, so now a couple kind of admissions-oriented questions. When does West Virginia start reviewing early action applications?
So great question. So we are not an early action school. We actually have rolling admissions. So our application goes live every October 1st. So the October before you start your senior year. We have our WVU online application or the common application, no preference for either. So you can submit your application, work with us as your admissions counselors throughout the year so we can make sure we have all documents to complete your application. And then our processing team does begin to review completed applications in mid-September. So we started about September 11th this year. So if you've already submitted your application, touch base with us. We can check on the status, let you know if there are any documents that are missing, but then you should expect to receive your decision within 4 to 6 weeks from the time that it's completed, and it's often sooner than that.
And just to add to that, the only program right now that has a priority deadline would be our nursing program, which the priority deadline is December 1. So if you are interested in the nursing program, we do recommend, even though we're rolling, that you do apply early.
And this feeds in really well. We did have a question that says, does the decision for direct admit nursing come out at the same time as general admissions?
It does. So anyone who applies into the nursing program is reviewed for direct admission. Right now, we have 3 different levels that you can be admitted when it comes to nursing. It is a little bit more intense. This year, it's a little bit different. So we do have, you can apply merit with test scores. You can apply test optional and take the TEAS test, or you can apply test optional and be admitted into health and well-being, and then try to test your SAT or ACT this spring. But again, that priority deadline is December 1. That is definitely a program where you want to reach out and chat with Maddie about it, because it's one of the only programs that has that early deadline and has that extra test that you can take to be directly admitted.
Okay, and this is kind of, again, an admissions application related question. How do first year applicants apply to honors college, and when are the deadlines?
Great question. So students who are interested in the honors college, so all students, I should start out by saying, are considered for honors based on their GPA and in previous years, their test score. So honors is working with admissions right now to determine the base GPA that they're going to consider. We've heard 3.75, but again, please do go to honors.wvu.edu for updates throughout the semester. But so now students who do apply test optional, if they have that specific GPA on either a weighted or an unweighted scale, whichever scale your high school uses, then you'll be invited to participate in the honors college. So you'll get that letter about 2 weeks after you receive your admissions decision. So once you're accepted to university, 2 weeks later, honors reaches out to you. You submit that 250-word statement, letting them know of your interest. They'll respond as they thank you. Welcome to the honors college. So deadlines, it will vary depending on the academic year. So usually about March or so of your senior year, honors starts to say, okay, we're filling up in terms of spaces, but they'll still work with you. If you don't join as an incoming freshman, you do have the opportunity to join in our upper level foundations as a junior or a senior as well.
Okay, I think we'll kind of move into similarly a question about when can I apply for merit out-of-state scholarships? And that's where kind of similarly that WVU does not have a separate scholarship application. So based on the information we have on file for you, that is how we consider you for scholarships. So we're going to look at the cumulative GPA that you've submitted to WVU. We're also going to look at your SAT or ACT test scores, if those are on file for you. So you do not have to fill out a separate scholarship application for our merit-based scholarships. You just want to make sure that we have your most up-to-date cumulative GPA as well as test scores. We do have a really great scholarship website that's going to soon be updated with our merit-based scholarships. And I really appreciated the person that asked this question. The reminder that we do have that are called resident in-state students. So those are our students that live in West Virginia. And everyone from all other 49 states is considered a non-resident or an out-of-state student. So there are separate scholarships on the merit level. There might be specific departmental scholarships as well, depending on your major, as well as a leadership scholarship and a diversity scholarship. Always think this is a great conversation for you to have with Maddie or whoever your admissions counselor is. We want to try to make sure you're getting the maximum scholarship package from WVU. So that's where it's a great conversation to have with your admissions counselor. And also kind of coming up, the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. FAFSA is going to open on October 1. We do encourage students to submit their FAFSA to WVU as well. So, and that's where kind of hopefully that answered when can I apply. So you don't have to fill out a separate application when you apply to WVU. You're considered for scholarships, and just keep on sending. Keep sending if your GPA increases, if you do take SATs or ACTs or take them again, keep on sending them to WVU. So
thank you, Kelly. Can
Yeah,
I
anything
add
to
two
add,
more
please.
points to that? Thank you so much. Sorry to interrupt. So two other points that I want to emphasize. So this year we've mentioned that we are going to be test optional. And so we've also mentioned that certain scholarships, maybe departmental scholarships, will require a test score. So we recommend that you can go ahead and apply test optional if you've not been able to sit for the ACT or SAT, if you're not sure if your specific program requires the score, to try to sign up in your local community whenever you're able to sit for an exam, and then work with us. Send us your scores later. We will only use them to your benefit, so only if it strengthens your application. So if you've already received an admissions decision, that test score maybe would make you a pre-major instead of a direct admit into your specific major. We won't use the score in that way. If you can earn any additional aid, or if you can then be a direct admit into a major that without the scores you were just pre, we'll then use them in that way. So our campus have been having a lot of conversations and discussions about how we can make sure that we're being as flexible as possible. We're putting the students' best interest first, just knowing that so much is going on and there's already a lot of stress just with applying to college right now anyway. So again, reach out to us, but do not worry. You can always send in the updates. We'll use them in your favor.
I think on that note, another good scholarship, financial aid, cost of coming to WVU question. Can an out-of-state student qualify for in-state tuition after a certain amount of time?
So when it comes to the residency, we do have a page that's dedicated to being a resident of WVU. There is a lot of things associated with that, such as having, whether you're with your parents, their taxes are filed there, it's their primary place of living. I definitely would recommend looking at the residency page. I believe it is a 2.5-year process to be a resident, but it's definitely something that it's not an easy process. Maddie, do you have anything to add to that?
Sure, yes. So Adele Seba is our residency coordinator. She's fabulous. I always connect my students to her. You can have a conversation about your specific circumstances before you go through the process of submitting the application. Also, there are additional scholarships that students can earn as a current student that you can stack on both those merit and need-based scholarships that you've earned as an incoming freshman. So continue to reach out to your advisors. Your specific school or college will let you know about scholarships that are available to current students. Our website will have them listed as well. But yes, even if you are truly a non-resident student and you're not able to get that residency in terms of tuition or scholarships, we do have ways to make it affordable for you.
I think maybe on that note, another good question would be, what's the minimum amount for room and board?
So our housing website is great. They update this information every July. It actually changes. So if you go to housing.wvu.edu and you can click on the link that gives more information about room and board, gives you more information about the differences in price of our 12 residence halls and student apartment complexes. So you can look at last year's classifications and the numbers and get a projection for that. But then also, so they will range on the number of credits that you're taking, again, which residence hall that will be built into that you choose, and then if you're a resident or non-resident student. But all of that information is updated on our housing website.
And I'll add to that too, something that I think comes up with conversations with students is we do have different levels or different types of housing. Like we have suite style housing, pod style housing, community style bathrooms. So very nicely done on the website is the fact that there can be some different costs to housing. So that might just be something as you're considering WVU, and if you, so hopefully you're applying and being admitted to WVU and depositing and putting down your housing, to check out the housing website or have a conversation with your admissions counselor, but know that there are some varying costs to the room and board based on your choice of what you choose. And I think also on that note, are food plans included, I think, along with room and board, I believe is the question.
So, go ahead, Cassie. Yeah, thank you.
Separate from room and board, you can choose the meal plan that is the best for you. They range. So whether you want to have a few meals per week to an unlimited plan, the cost of those does range as well. And that information is all on our dining website, where you can also see what kind of food is available. We also have a nutritionist available, or a dietitian who is available. So should you have any intolerances, dairy-free, gluten-free, restrictions such as that, they can work with you. Students who choose to have a smaller meal plan, because you do have to have a meal plan if you live on campus, sometimes live in the apartments when they know they're going to pay a little bit more for an apartment, but they're going to cook and they're not going to use meals. For someone who lives in a traditional dorm with a microwave and a little fridge, they might choose to have more meals per week because they have a smaller place with less options when it comes to being able to cook on their own. So all of that, it really depends on the amenities and then how often you think you're going to eat. You can always bump your meal plan up and so get more meals, but you can't reduce it. So if you're in between meals and you're not sure which one, start with the lower one, do a week or two, see how it goes. And if you need more, you can always bump it up.
Okay, so also kind of on a room and board question, what items are allowed in the dorm rooms? Microwave, mini fridge, coffee pot?
Sure, so we have actually a list on the housing website of things not to bring. Anything like a candle or like a toaster oven that could cause a fire, since you're living with a lot of other people, are not allowed. We do allow you to have like a microwave and a mini fridge. We actually have is it a micro fridge? It's like a combination of the two that you can rent. So there are a lot of options for you to rent things like that. So you don't have to bring a refrigerator up and bring it out. That might save a little bit of your lower back when it comes to moving into a dorm. So our housing website has a list of things that you can rent, things that you can bring, and things that you should not bring. And then we also have information on there, like the size of the room, what size bedding you would need, and all of that fun stuff.
I can also add to that many of you are going to be coming from out of state, so do not worry. During your student move-in, we have faculty and staff that are helpful in helping you bring your items. We have shuttles back and forth to some of the local stores if you need to purchase your items to, if you're not going to be flying or driving a long distance and really don't have the space in your car. So we'll definitely help you with that. And then also, our housing portal that opens on October 1st is a great way for you to connect with other students. I believe Cassie mentioned it. So if you're looking for a roommate, several roommates, you can chat with them from October 1st all the way until new student move-in, which for our students is usually early to mid-August. And so then you can talk with him or her about which items they want to bring, which items you'll bring. So again, you're really making sure that you're sharing the cost and you're not buying two of everything. You can let family and friends know at graduation, oh, you know, my roommate's already covering this. So that's another great way for you to plan in advance.
I've often heard at our new student orientation, the number one tip, and this isn't WVU specific, the number one tip when you're working with your roommate is communication. Talk to each other, reach out to each other. So communicate with your roommate. Kind of a quick question that I can answer. What percentage of the student body is out-of-state students? It's around 55% at West Virginia University. And another question, and again, please feel free to keep them coming, keep questions coming by typing them in the chat. What does WVU Sports Management Program have to offer?
So we do have a sports management program in our CPAS program. That's our College of Physical Activity and Sports Science. Our sports management students are going to learn how to kind of like facilitate and manage a team. They're going to work with our Division I athletes and teams if they want to. They can do internships. They can do practical hours with them. So that is for someone who wants to go to work for maybe like a professional team, whether it's semi-pro, pro would be great. We do have students who have gone on to work with teams in the Pittsburgh area, or students who have returned home to work with teams in their local area as well. So there's a number of different programs within the CPAS umbrella that students can look into, whether it's coaching, sports management, sports psychology as well, and then the health and well-being. Additionally, students in that program can get certifications like group fitness, personal training, not athletic training, but conditioning, things of that nature. And then recently, our athletic training program has moved to the School of Medicine, since that is now a master's required program. So if you were to go on to CPAS, so that will be where you can find information on the classes that you would take within that program. You can get the contact information for Lindsay, who is the college recruiter within that program. And then you can also see job opportunities and internship placement for that as well.
Or you can also just email Maddie and she'll get you connected with Lindsay. Because certainly we know that there were questions now and questions today, but there's always questions later. Maybe something specifically about your major, something about housing, checking on the status of your application. So we at this time do not have any other questions in the Q&A, but certainly if you do have any last lingering questions, feel free to plug them in, but also make sure that you're maybe grabbing a quick screenshot of Maddie's contact information, or knowing that you can contact us at any point in the future with anything related to West Virginia University.
And Cassie, would you mind sharing the very last slide? This is going to be a great resource for you if you want to connect with us in other ways. WVU has a lot of additional programming to connect with you virtually. Our tour guide live series is one that I would highly recommend. Our students are going out with GoPros, they're walking the campus, even able to take you to parts of campus that we couldn't bring a large tour group to, as well as we have several open houses where you'll be able to connect with faculty and staff from the 14 schools and colleges that we've highlighted. So that Future Students website is a great hub for all the additional resources that we want to highlight to prospective students and families. And of course, as we've said many times, please reach out to us. We'd be happy to assist you. And Madeline, we will turn it back to you. Thank you so much, everyone, for engaging with us today.
Yes, thank you to our awesome presenters for this great presentation on West Virginia University. If you'll give me one moment and I'll get my second screen shared with you guys. That way I can leave us with some closing remarks. So not only do I thank the presenters for this great session, but also thank you guys for joining us. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback that you can provide. Also, this was just one of many sessions being hosted by CACRAO. So be sure to check out our website for more sessions and see what we have available on our schedule. In about a week, you'll be able to find this sessions recording as well as any other sessions recordings at cacrao.org. Thank you and have a great night.